Such a beautiful garden. There is a garden where everything grows. Beautiful garden. In this place of light and love, and you can have there is a garden, dreams come true. A beautiful garden. Such a beautiful garden. No, we can't. I was walking my dog down by the lake. When I saw something coming, made my poor heart shake.
So we're just, do you have a watch? I turned my phone on.
I have a phone. Oh, I should turn it on airplane.
Yeah.
It's officially is 10:30.
Okay, let's just start at play one more time. All the way through start to finish.
The garden? Let me get this on airplane. Okay. There is a garden, it's come true. Beautiful garden, where God's grace comes. There is a garden where everything grows. Beautiful garden where love is found. And in this place, light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true. A beautiful garden, that garden is you. Such a beautiful garden, that garden is you.
Just keep going.
Where dreams come true. Beautiful garden, where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows. Beautiful garden where love is found. In this place of light and love, you can have anything you're dreaming of. There is a garden, dreams come true. A beautiful garden, garden is you. Such a beautiful garden, that garden is you. Yeah. So, We Are One is our opener, yes.
Trina. Hey, Trina.
welcome. Well, we love singing. Glad we can sing together.
We were hiking. I forgot to bring a different pair of shoes.
I'm first. Oh, I'm like, what are you doing?
No, I think
No, I'm first because we have to sing.
I thought we were.
I do an come on out, but I do little bit of a hello. And,
Okay.
just so you know.
Good Sunday morning. Hello. Thank you for being here. Good morning and God morning. I'm getting ugly faces that say I'm too loud, and I can't ever remember hearing that in my life. So welcome to Unity of Flagstaff. We appreciate you spending your Sunday morning with us. As you are comfortable, would you please stand and support Matt Devlin, Steve Huffman, and Trina Goetz in our opening song, We Are One, written by Steve and Matt.
So I think this is just the chorus that we have up there. So you'll know when to come in.
Okay. We are one.
We are one with everything under the sun. We are one with everything under the sun. We are one with the Spirit. We are one with the power. We are one with each other every day and every hour. We are one with everything under the sun. We are one with everything under the sun. We are one with our family. We are one with our friends. One with our neighbors, with a love that never ends. We are one with everything under the sun. We are one with everything under the sun. We are one with the jays, with the elk and the deer, the sun and the stars, with the sky so clear. We are one with everything under the sun. We are one with everything under the sun. We are one with everything under the sun. We are one with the rain as it falls from the sky. We are one with the water we drink when we are dry. We are one with everything under the sun. 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 Last time. We are one with everything under the sun. We are one.
Say good morning to each other.
Should we just stay up here pretty much? Yes. Until the talk, maybe?
Excellent.
Let's run through the verse, chorus. We're going to start with We Are One. Spirit.
Really? Okay,
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
this will be the donation. No. Oh, we're just doing this now during this.
How are you?
Good morning, YouTubers. Thanks for being with us. Unity of Flagstaff welcomes you and appreciates you sharing this time with us. We have a fabulous guest speaker this weekend, Wayne Benensen, and he'll be talking about Let Your Light Shine. Yes, and thank you for going to our website to find out what's going on in this community. And you can also donate there, and we appreciate that. Blessings, our friends, blessings. Thank you for being with us. Namaste.
How are you doing?
Change partners, yeah.
All right. Do-si-do and change partners. That's what Jim said. Good morning. Good morning. Sam, this mic is still too loud. If you could help me out back there, thank you for that. How you doing? No, really, how you doing?
Yeah.
And you know, it would better now. I like hearing that. And you know, it would be okay for you to say, I'm having a crummy morning. A crummy morning. I don't want to know what you thought I said. So welcome. Welcome to Unity of Flagstaff. I am Reverend Penni, honey. It is my joy to be in the room with you. It is my honor to serve in this position. And I can't go any further without saying, round of applause for these amazing musicians. Right? We've decided it got really simple when I saw this little slide that just says, love all humans. It just sums up what we are here. There's not a big conversation about what all means, because all is exactly that. And so we are grateful. We're grateful for our YouTubers. Wave at the camera. There we go. Yes, yes. It's fabulous to have people that are touching base with us in new ways. And you know, that's what we're about here, because everyone on the planet this week is finding a way to share and express their divinity. And we support that. We are that. And I am grateful you're here on Sunday morning, because it's not very fun when the room is empty. We have a fabulous guest speaker today, and I will introduce him in a moment. Love all humans. Now I'm going to do a little infomercial. I'm starting a series called the Investigative Series. So series usually indicates more than one, right? So there'll be some following classes to this. Next Sunday, BYOB, bring your own bag lunch. And we will dive into the book entitled Let Your Life Speak, written by Parker Palmer. Transition rules. Yeah, y'all feel really good about that, don't you? Right? And we're going to talk about letting your life speak and being a bigger voice in your expression. So won't you join us? That's next Sunday and the following Sunday. And you don't have to own the book. It's okay. Take a breath, and we'll see where we'll go after 2 classes. All right? Let's grow deep. That's what we're here to do. And as a fair warning, spiritual gifts are coming. Your spiritual gifts have already arrived because you have them. We just want to help you recognize them. And we're going to do that on September 9th. There will be more information about that coming up. Think of it as an enneagram for your spirit. That's what spiritual gifts are, and finding those. And as you know, unity is founded on prayer. Isn't that a cool place to start? And in this community, we want to support you with that tool being prayer. You can leave a prayer request in our prayer box over here. You can ask a prayer partner who's serving today as a prayer partner that is available to pray. Here we are. Celebrate and pray with you. We're here to do that. Thank you. And you can also call Silent Unity 24/7, 1-800-NOW-PRAY. Put it on speed dial. And, of course, you can always request prayer here at the center at 928-526-8893. Take a little breath. I love this quote by Ernest Holmes. What does one do when they pray? Ernest Holmes said they talk to God. Where do they talk to God? And Ernest Holmes said they talk to God in their own mind, through their own thought or feeling. So let's do that now. Take a breath with me. We open our minds. We soften our hearts. We rest into this safe and loving space. We are grateful for the opportunity to connect, to express, and to be. Thank you, Spirit. And so it is. And so we're just going to let it be. Amen. And now it is my pleasure to bring Marcia Wiesner to the front as our platform assistant for the day. Thank you, Marcia. Volunteer, prayer team member, kitchen co-manager, and so much more. You know, those little articles that go in the newspaper every week to tell people what we're talking about and what we're doing. And yeah, that's her. That helping me with keeping that calendar going so you can go to that website that I know you're all visiting on a weekly basis. That's Marcia. Yeah, she's doing that. And I appreciate her in so many ways. Thank you.
All right. I think we're going to start with gratitudes and prayers, which is always a good place to start. We'd love to hear from you, and we honor your prayer requests, celebrations, and gratitudes. Yes, let's get a mic.
Guess it's coming to me first. So my family has a strong connection to Lahaina, Maui. We had family friends there. We've all been there, my sister, my dad, and I, numerous times. And I was there just a month ago. So, you know, I just want to send prayers of love and support and strength and perseverance, all of that, to that community that's just been devastated. So just sending, and to the first responders who are, you know, tirelessly working out there, just sending a big bubble of love in that direction across the ocean.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes,
Trina.
thank you.
So for a moment, I want us to take a breath. And we hold in the light. Those communities, those families, those people that are there to take care of each other. We see them in light. And we clearly discern what is ours to do. We own and know that in our oneness, that they are blessed, they are safe, and there is healing right now. So thank you for that. And so it is.
Anybody else? We're going to get a microphone to you in a few minutes, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. I just don't touch metal if there's metal. My prayer concern is all that I have been learning about myself since I had a huge crash where I thought for sure I was going to die. I was ready to go. But that was 9 years ago. And God healed me. And he's been healing my head ever since, every time I have a spasm. But I had no idea that he was going to show me so many mysteries that I never believed. I never believed in reincarnation, for one thing. But I have found my abusive husband in this life. I mean, he wasn't, but he's not my abusive husband now. He was a friend, but now he just wants to yell at me. And I found out through meditation and prayer that in the life that we lived, I stuck a knife in his back and went to prison for it for the rest of my life. So my initials are MAO. His initials are JB. So if you could please pray for us, because we have a problem every time we get together. He just wants to yell at me.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for trusting us. Thank you for feeling safe. And we are affirming that you are enfolded in light and safety and love. And that hearts are softened and communication is easy. And we are claiming that with you right now.
I just wanted to be, speak my gratitude towards some very peaceful and loving recent communications with my family members, which have been very stressful lately, and also all the wellness in my family and my extended family. There are a few people that are still working on their wellness, that are struggling. And for those individuals, Mark Jr. and James and Johnny, my prayers, my love, and comfort and healing for you in this life. Thank you.
Suzanne, we're celebrating that healing that's going on for you, around you, and with your family. And we know that it is unfolding to your highest outcome and to the highest outcome of all those that you are holding in prayer. We know this with you and for you. Thank you.
Just a prayer for safe travels for Larry. He left very early this morning to head down to the valley and then to Alaska, where there'll be 4 guys and bears traveling down the river.
The difference is.
So, prayers that he won't do anything to antagonize the bears. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Do I have a prayer for bears? No, but I have a joke about one, but I'm not going to tell it. So, Pat, what we know is Larry is held in the palm of Spirit's hand. We know that wherever he is, God is. And we know that the bears are just there to love and be a show and to share their connection to nature, and they just stay in their own lane. And we give thanks for his safety and his safe and sage travel.
All right. I'd like to thank and also be grateful for the Code Talkers, because Monday is National Code Talker Day. Yay! My dad was on the USS Nevada, and he told me that they were really a bunch of great guys, and they saved us. So I honor them on Monday, which I have off. Woohoo!
So great gratitude for the Code Talkers is, yeah. And it's official Code Talkers Day on Monday, is that right? Yeah. And if you don't know the story or the history around that, I encourage you. Google it, right? But you're absolutely right, Janie, and thank you for sharing that. We are celebrating the support and the love and the intelligence that has kept us safe. And they were a big part of that. Yeah, thank you for that.
I have another answered prayer with gratitude. My husband's been in his healthiest place for a long time, and he's able to exercise, and the chronic fatigue has lifted. And you've all been praying for him, and he was able to get some part-time work. And he's applying for a full-time job. This week on Thursday, he has an interview. And we are visualizing our family moving into a place where one of us has a job with benefits.
And we are affirming that with you, Katie, and we are celebrating Dave and his progress and his move forward and his greater expression. And we give gratitude for the love that you have held him in and continue to do. Thank you for that model.
I have a prayer request. I'm a teacher, and I teach mindfulness online, and many of my students come from a recent divorce, so they're very confused and hurt and not knowing what to do with their anger. And because of my relationship with them, I have a close relationship with their parents, or their mothers. So to 3 of the mothers particularly who are just suffering from the slings and arrows of the legal process and just feeling lonely and feeling lost, I wish to give my prayers and have many, many more prayers come to them.
Thank you, Wayne. Yes, those speed bumps in life. And to watch people go over them sometimes just isn't easy, is it? So first we acknowledge you knowing the power of prayer. And thank you for that. And we hold those families, those moms, even those partners in a place of peace and calm. And they're recognizing not only their own divinity, but the divinity in each other. And those children feel safe and supported. And their little minds are supple and open to knowing that all is well.
Any other prayers? Thank you for sharing. We're honored to hear what you have to say here. We're grateful for the power of prayer that we all have, and the good news, spoken and unspoken here today. We affirm that each condition, person, and situation is an expression of the divine. We claim love, wisdom, healing, and wholeness. And so it is, and so we let it be. Okay, our unity principle for today, which is covered by leaves, kind of.
It's easier to read up there.
Oh, it's much easier. Sometimes it's too small for my nearsighted, too vain to wear glasses eyes.
Yes,
right,
we have a suggestion box. It's very small, but I recommend you dropping your suggestion in that. Because I'm always trying to fit somebody, right?
All
So
right.
if you can't see it, I apologize.
Okay, no, this is great. Would you say this together with me?
Our thoughts have creative power to influence events and determine our experiences.
Which is probably a darn good principle for today's talk. Okay, so I'm going to share with you an inspiring conversation that a very nice friend and I had. She asked if I liked the Barbie movie, and I said I liked it a lot, and she said, "Oh, you're so stupid." I kind of reared back in shock and said, I'm not stupid. And that was rude. She said, I apologize. That was just the first thing that came to my mind. And I thought, that's not real reassuring. And many of you have heard of nonviolent communication. And both of us, according to this theory, were using unskilled methods of having our needs met. So the thing is, I spent the rest of the day telling a story about there being something wrong with my friend's brain. Like, is she getting demented? Or is there some medication side effect? What's going on? But this was I just realized this morning this was the sort of the equivalent of saying, I'm not stupid, you're stupid. And it really wasn't meeting my needs for wholeness in the situation. So I found myself wanting a kinder view of the situation. She'd been in a theater where everybody was yucking it up. It's wildly popular, and she didn't get it. And I thought about it. This would be me sitting in a theater with a Wes Anderson movie, the same situation. So the daily word of August 2nd included this sentence: whatever builds me up, inspires me, and triggers my impulses toward kindness and decency has its roots in spiritual truth. So I think I'm hoping to be able to remember that we're all expressions of the divine in any future situations where I want to strike back against that. And it's not just what we've said or done in the past few minutes that determines who we are and what consideration we deserve. And I hope that's a grace that others will give me in the future. And we're still friends.
So now we're going to prepare for meditation. Thank you, Sue, for taking care of the lights. I may have been remiss in welcoming anyone new to the room. If you didn't get propaganda at the door, you let me know, because we'll see that happens. And again, thank you, Matt and Steve.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden, that garden is you. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden, that garden is you. Such a beautiful garden, that garden is you.
So I invite you now to rest. We feel ourselves fully supported in the room. We plant our feet. We know that we are safe. And we're resting in the knowing that Spirit is right here. And we recognize the light within us. We open those places in our hearts that could use just a little more light. And we feel that opening. And we allow that light to wash over us, through us, and all around us. We pull it down through our hearts, through our bodies, grounding into the earth, where it finds room and space to grow. And we see that light extending above us, connecting to our higher consciousness, aligning with our divinity. We feel that perfect and complete connection, the heaven we create and the earth that we walk on. It is here that we heal. It is here that we connect. We see the beauty of the garden of our life. We look around and see the light and the growth, the abundance. And in those spaces, calling for more light, we see those enfolded and healing. And we rest here in the silence. And we feel the celebration of connection. We feel gratitude for the healing. We allow ourselves to behold the divine expression that we are. And we see that in all around us. This is the day that Spirit has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. And so it is. And so we're just going to let it be.
we're doing a song that is not in standard tuning. So take me just a second.
This was a song that Wayne, our guest speaker, that I will be introducing here in a moment, I said, so tell me about music around your message. He said, I really love Joni Mitchell. I said, she's not available. But I know some people that are. And they said yes. And for that, we are always grateful. Really.
Yeah, so, and like Matt said, we're having to tune this one down a bit for me because I can't sing quite as high as Joni Mitchell did in the 70s. It's kind of funny. There's a YouTube version of her pretty recently singing at the Newport Folk Festival 80, something like that, and tuned way down and violins in the background, and
she
we didn't want to
rocked
do that
it.
version.
Yeah, the
But,
violins weren't available either.
Anyway, I've always enjoyed her music. So this is a nice chance to sing one of her songs. Bows and flows of angel hair, and ice cream castles in the air, and feathered canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain, they snow on everyone. So many things I could have done. The clouds got in my way. I looked at clouds from both sides and now from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, a dizzy dancing way you feel when every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way, but now it's just another show. You leave 'em laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at love from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow it's love's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds, I looked at life that way. But now friends are acting strange. They shake their heads, they say I've changed. Well, something's lost and something's gained in living every day. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all.
Good.
Hard time not crying with that one.
That was so good. So, yeah, right? Yay. Okay, so that was really good. Can we do it again? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. No, I'm cutting into Wayne's time now. So it is my joy to introduce to you today Wayne Benensen. He has a book out in the foyer. It's called Claim Your Light. And he is the author of that. Oops. What are we doing? Whoop. Okay. What am I needing to do differently? Anything? Okay, good. Just keep talking. Oh, I love it when they say that. So Wayne is a friend of a friend, and he also happens to be part of Unity of Phoenix, he and his lovely companion, Sue. And thank you for coming up the mountain with us. We appreciate that. Wayne describes himself as a half a glass, half full kind of guy. And his curiosity for learning and teaching has taken him to many classrooms, from little ones to universities. And we are grateful to have him share his light and his message with us today. Thank you, Wayne, for being with us. Come on up.
Good morning. Good morning. You can hear me. When you can't, would you wave? Thank you, Reverend Penni, for inviting me. Thank you, Matt and Steve, for a really difficult song. Yeah. And you did it well. And thank you, Flagstaff, for being here. You have no idea how joyful I am in this climate as opposed to Phoenix. Thank you. The last 5 or 6 weeks have been intense in Phoenix. And I'm a kind of guy who likes to be out a lot. That's why I moved to the desert. And now my out is like 6 o'clock in the morning. I live in an apartment complex, and people keep to themselves. But at 6 o'clock in the morning, everyone's out walking their dog and talking. And there's been this competition in the last month. Oh, you don't know how hot it's been for us. And we go out of our way to make a better story than the other neighbor. No, my suffering's worse than your suffering. I really got to drop the story. And that's what I want to talk about today. What stories do you have that no longer work for you? They might have at one time, but have you done an update? While I was sheltering in place the last 6 weeks, I kind of reverted back to pandemic behavior and watched a lot of Netflix. One of the movies I saw was called The Swimmer. It was about these 2 young girls who were training to join the Olympic team for Syria. It was 2014, and there was a terrible civil war going on in Syria at the time. So bad that their father had to ship them out because the war was too close to their family. And the movie talked about their migration, and they ended up in Germany. And they found another trainer, and they started training for the Olympics. Well, because Syria was so unstable,
they elected not to send a team that year. These girls were heartbroken. And the younger, the better of the two, said, I'm not going to swim. Unless I can swim for Syria, I'm not going to swim. Then the backstory comes out. Her father tried to join the Syrian swim team when he was young, and he didn't make it. So he became a swim coach. The girl's a swim coach. They were swimming for the father, not for themselves. I won't spoil the movie for you, but there's a reckoning that comes when are we doing our business or are we doing someone else's business? Well, those two stories, hopefully compelling, are just stories. My story about the heat, these girls' stories about what's more important, swimming for my country or swimming because I can with all the best swimmers in the world. Sometimes stories can mean a matter of life and death. I want to tell the story of Lieutenant Colonel Piet, who's now General Piet, who was commanding a group of fighters in Afghanistan when we were fighting the war there. And they were way, way up. It was Flagstaff kind of up. They were at 13,000 feet. And they were tracking some Taliban fighters. And the airplanes were in place, and they had the light, green light from command, take that camp out. But Lieutenant Colonel Piet said, I gotta see, eyes on the ground. So he sent some advanced group of soldiers at 13,000 feet, climbing high and low, and try to get close, and they radioed back. Well, we found the camp, and there's some soldiers around the perimeter. They look like they have some rifles. Command said, take them out. Lieutenant Colonel Piet said, I'm not convinced. Get closer. I want you to see their eyes. Radio went silent. Lots of time passed. Finally, the radio erupted, and they said, hold off the attack. There are people around the perimeter. There are two women. What we thought was a rifle was a staff. These are sheep herders. They come every year to this encampment. Drop your story. The stories could, in fact, kill under certain circumstances. In the picture above, you see two women on a hike going towards the trees. Which woman do you think is more mindful? The woman in the blue top sees what's in front of her. She's living in the now. She sees the trees, the blue sky, the sun. No doubt the woman in the red top also sees that. And she sees something else. Whatever is going through her mind. Problems at home, money problems, work problems, kid problems. Which is always a problem. Sometimes these problems can be an overlay and we don't see what's directly in front of us. This could be a problem if you're in a relationship. This could be a problem if you're with children. This could be a problem if you're walking down the street and you just don't see that hydrant. The next slide. Jim Carrey captured this really well with this fabulous quote. Our eyes are not only viewers, but projectors that are running a second story over the pictures we see in front of us all the time. That's the story I'm hoping you will drop. Next slide. So how do we do that? How can we drop the story that's directly in front of us, that's invisible in plain sight? One way we do it is deal with our attention. What are we paying attention to? Sometimes that attention is very, very selective. I want you to see a video, lasts about a minute, and it's of half a dozen teenagers. Half are wearing white shirts, half are wearing dark shirts. The ones in white are passing a ball to each other. I want you to count how many times the ball is passed.
The ancient Egyptians understood that they could use sound
That is not
to
the
reduce
ball.
their weight and the gravitational effect.
That's another story altogether.
Archaeoacoustic research, we are not.
This is a
There
test
we
of
go.
selective attention. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball. How many passes did you count?
13.
The correct answer is 15 passes. But did you see the gorilla?
That's funny.
This video is from research by Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabris and is copyrighted. It is available for use in talks, training, and teaching on DVDs from VisCog Productions.
I have to ask.
Learn more at the
Raise your hands. How many
invisiblegorilla.com.
saw the gorilla? See, it's unity. Unity people are different.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Future of Work. I am joined today by Daniel Goldman, the father, as he is known.
Now, I kind of tricked you, which is one of my fortes in teaching. I asked you to look for the people in white. So you were focused on that. It's kind of a narrow focus. So you wouldn't see the people in black, and the gorilla, in fact, was black. Had the gorilla been white, I'm sure it would have been much more pronounced, but so be it. This speaks to two kinds of awareness: situational awareness and meta-awareness. Situational awareness is what's around us all the time. There was chatter going on. Some of you saw the gorilla. It was talking about it. What's happening all around us physically? Meta-awareness is what's happening inside your head. Meta means more. It's paying attention to attention. What fantasies or drama is going on in your head that only you know about, but you wish everyone else would? Next slide. How can we see what's invisible in plain sight? We watch our minds much more carefully than what we normally do. Next slide. I will read what these are because that is really, really tiny print. Psychologists have come up with two kinds of ways of paying attention, of looking at our meta-awareness. One is a mindful mode, and the other is a simulation mode. The mindful mode, basically it's living now, in the present. It's full of what our senses are. What am I seeing and hearing and tasting and touching in the now? There's no story attached. It's what is happening. Are you curious about what is happening? And there's no emotional reactivity, nor judgment. It's the woman going into the forest. I don't have an opinion about trees. The other kind of awareness is called simulation awareness. We are simulating a reality, and it's quite the opposite of mindful. We either get caught up in the past or anticipate the future. It's conceptual. Conceptual means storytelling. It's a hope for rather than as is reality. And it has high triggers, high emotional triggers. Oh, let me tell you what happened today. Boy, I am so... And off we go. And if you don't agree with me, maybe you're not my friend. Next slide. So the question becomes, how can we shift from simulation mode to mindful mode? Now, personally, I like simulation mode. I've been known, and Sue will attest to this, to have delightful fantasies that I call my reality. I'm probably the only one in the room with that, but it's not about one being better than the other. It's being able to toggle from one to the other. As a young man, I had quite the temper. My bear was explosive. And I held grudges. I could hold a grudge for years at a time. I was still in simulated reality for that hurt that I felt. Now I can toggle. That hurt's still there, but I don't have to live there anymore. So, how can we do that? How can we become more accurate with our impressions of what's in front of us? Well, we find a different perch, a different way of seeing, bird's eye view, if you will. There's a lot there. I'll just unpack it. First responders, firefighters, police, surgeons in an ER room, teachers, are very aware of VUCA moments. Psychologists call a VUCA moment a moment that's volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. We don't have the information to make good decisions, yet decisions we must make. How can we make the best decisions? Well, one way is to stay focused on we rather than me. As soon as we go down that rabbit hole of me, not so good outcomes generally happen. One thing that I have found, especially in my teaching, is when I move from first person to third person, from I to we, or even just use my name as that other person. This is so much for Wayne to unpack. Will they get it? Allows me the distance I need to get the good feedback that you're giving me right now. Finally, don't believe everything you think. Thoughts are mental constructions. They come and they go. They're not good, they're not bad, they're like the waves. They come, there's an undertow, and then they come again. Think about that movie I said of the swimmers. The young girl was so fixated on pleasing her father that she forgot about what she wanted. She really wanted to compete with the best. Next, please. So, a little science on a Sunday in church? Always, thank you. How can we make these ruts, these loops that are in our brain, how can we make them into grooves? Something that has some power of the now. To understand that, you have to understand the parts of the brain that can control that. It's called the DMN, Default Mode Network. Those are areas of the brain that you know to be daydreaming. Again, daydreaming isn't bad or good. You've got to stay away from that judgmental language. If I am really upset, getting into a good daydream is better for everyone in front of me. In the DMN, your attention is hijacked. And sometimes, because you're not paying attention, You don't even know that you're out to lunch. When this happens repeatedly, psychologists talk about it being maladaptive rumination. We're just stuck on this loop that keeps going and going and going. And if we are stuck there too much, we can form anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, even bipolar and PTSD. You don't need to be in a war zone to have those happen. Or the war zone is what is in your head with the forest right in front of you. So instead of getting into a self-referential, all about me, recursive, stuck on repeat, and negative thinking, there are things you can do to change the rut to a groove. You can go to the next one. How can we retrain our attention and our working memory? We can do those things in our brain to light up the DMN intentionally. How do we do intentionally? We think about, next please. I'll give 3 examples. One is to become more mindful of our senses, what we're seeing in front of us. Not to pay attention to evaluate what's going on, but just to see it as is. So that person who is annoying the heck out of me is annoying the heck out of me, keeping it at that level. A second way of dealing with it. One is a physical thing, one is a mental thing. Physical thing is exercise. You jump up and down, you're breathing more heavily, you're oxygenating your blood, and that rich oxygenated blood goes to your brain and opens up parts of the DMN that weren't open before. It's magic, and it's free. And you look better afterwards because you're flushed. Never mind, that wasn't part. The second, the mental thing, is to meditate. And at this point, I usually lose people. Oh, I tried that once. Didn't work. To meditate is to slow down so you can see the forest from the cupcake. I made a little joke, meta-tate. Meta, again, being meta-awareness. How can we look at our behaviors, our thoughts, and just say them as they are? They come, they go. The third answer, probably the hardest, but for me personally, the most reliable, is to become still. I love the T.S. Eliot had this great line, to be still and still moving. Because to be still 6 feet under the ground, it really isn't a good thing. But to be still and still moving, that's the key. And while you are in that slower place, can you meditate on what the Buddha called 2 arrows? First arrow is whatever slings and arrows life throws at you. It hurts. Say it as is. But the second arrow, and then you're taking off on whatever that story is. That's where you have the control. That's where you can say, this is how I'm feeling, announce it, and let it go. Next, please. So how can we drop a story we hardly see that's invisible in plain sight? We notice when we're in the mindful mode and when we're not, when we're in the simulation mode. And more each day, pat yourself on the back whenever you do. Last one. And then talk about it at lunch. Thank you.
was pretty fabulous. Wayne Benensen. He has a book out in the foyer that he has written. He has those available today for sale. Feel free to take a peek at those. As we prepare for our gratitude and abundance, I want to remind you our gift for you table and, of course, our lending library over here. All of that is free. Like I say, the only thing that's free is advice, and you certainly can't count on that every time, but you can on these books and these readings. Thank you again, Wayne. It was a great reminder to drop the story, right? Anybody have any stories in your life? We don't want to hear them, not right now anyway. All right. But I am available during the week. So keep in mind that everything you want to know about the community you will find on the website at www.unityoflagstaff.org. I want to remind you of our investigative series. Check that out in the foyer. We're going to have some fun with that next Sunday. And this quarter, we are supporting as a community Sharon's Manor and Sharon's Attic. 50% of our 10% tithe will go to this local organization. So, like I like to say, the more you give, the more we give. And so, we are going to bring those baskets on down here. Try not to get you all hooked up here in the microphone. And look at my helper. Look at this. Check it out. Emerson. Now, remind me, who she was named after or her name was considered in the process? Ralph Waldo Emerson, this beautiful one. And thank you for your help. I feel abundant. How about you? Together we are affirming, you see the words on the screen, we are the light, we are the expression of abundance. Thank you for our oneness with infinite supply. Go forward and get the goods. All right. And as we're preparing and as you are comfortable, we'll all join in on All Is Well once again. And feel free to stand as we do that. Thank you again, Wayne. We appreciate you. Thank you, Sue, for being here. It's a joy to see you. Yes, absolutely. So as you're comfortable, stand. These folks will lead us in the song, All Is Well. And here we go. It's on. You see it on the screen?
All is well. All is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. Right now. All is well. All is well. All is well and unfolding as it should.
Let's do it again.
All is well. All is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. Right now. All is well. All is well. All is well and unfolding as it should.
Yeah, we say thank you, God. And we're going to bless these baskets, if you will affirm with me. We express our feelings and support for this community and its work through our generosity and gifts of spirit. Thank you. And together we affirm the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God
watches over us. Wherever we are,
God is, and all is well. Create an amazing week, my friends.
Trying to stay on time. Yeah. Yeah. It was good. It was good.